border. They're talking about all these things, not what Democrats would have you think. But we're going to hear from the president again, 12:30 Eastern time, if he's on time. Let's go to Mike Carter. He's now live outside St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. Mike.
Hey guys, good to be with you again. Well, police departments, law enforcement agencies across the country on high alert right now that Roe v. Wade has been struck down, including the NYPD here in New York City. Well, we're right outside of St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is a worldwide destination for those of the Catholic faith. Right now, just a couple of police vehicles lining up on Fifth Avenue. They have erected some barriers, though, on the sidewalk now. Why are they doing this? Well, it has to do with pro-abortion groups like Emma was just mentioning, Jane's Revenge, and others calling for what's being called a night of terror.
Abortion is oppression! Abortion is violence!
Across the country, a wave of recent attacks on pro-life pregnancy centers, sending strong warnings to those who would seek to abolish abortion. The far-left extremist group Jane's Revenge telling followers online, do not wait until the final verdict to organize. Make plans now. Take action now. In Minnesota last week, the group attacked Minnesota Citizens Concern for Life. The activist group shattering windows and writing in red spray paint, "Abortion is liberation." It was the second such attack on the facility in recent weeks. Earlier this month in Asheville, North Carolina, the group attacked pro-life center Mountain Area Services, breaking windows and doors, spray painting and graffiti, "If abortions aren't safe, neither are you." The very same day in Buffalo, New York, the group firebombed Pregnancy Resource Center Compass Care, leaving a calling card on the side of the building, "Jane was here." In a statement, the FBI says it's investigating a series of attacks and threats targeting pregnancy resource centers and faith-based organizations across the country. The FBI takes all threats seriously, and we continue to work closely with our law enforcement partners and will remain vigilant to protect our communities. Jane's Revenge appears to have formed in May of this year, around the same time the Supreme Court's leaked draft opinion on Dobbs v. Jackson was first published by Politico. Now the group is asking followers to do more than protest for abortion rights, as the Supreme Court and pro-life groups across the nation brace for what that could mean. All right, and moments ago, I did misquote Jane's Revenge. They put up a series of flyers in recent days around Washington, D.C. They're calling for a night of rage. That is the actual quote. Let's go to a quote by New York Governor Kathy Hochul. She's tweeting out this morning in regards to this Supreme Court decision. Today, the Supreme Court rolled back the rights of millions of Americans, disregarding their interests and, more importantly, their lives. Access to abortion is a fundamental human right, and it remains safe, accessible, and legal here in New York. Well, New York, one of those states that will pretty much not be affected by this Supreme Court decision. About half the states legalized abortion within the states, but folks here in New York City, the NYPD included, on high alert, especially outside of Catholic centers like here at St. Patrick's. Back to you.
Michael, thank you very much. I mean, that's one of the ironies here, is that they're calling for a night of rage. Yet, if you look at places like New York, where Mike is, Washington, D.C., where those folks are, California, some of these bigger centers of population where we've seen, for instance, BLM very active in some of the larger cities, those areas right now do allow abortion. And so the whole concept of sending it back to the people and allowing the people to elect their legislators and then their legislatures to make decisions on laws, it by definition is decentralizing this whole effort. It's not a situation in which one body of 9 people, as in 1973, decided what an abortion right was that was not actually explicit in the Constitution, and wrote essentially an outline as to the trimester process in which when an abortion should be allowed, and then followed up by Casey, without getting caught in the weeds here, saying you can't impose an undue burden. A centralized approach to abortion. Now this is being decentralized and sent back to the people.
Right. And of course, the voters in the states will have the final say when it comes to electing Congress members, lawmakers, senators, and those who would be very vocal about where they stand on the issue of abortion, therefore giving power back to the people.